All right, 6.2, the war begins. On May 10th, 1775, the Second Continental Congress met in Philadelphia. By then, New England militia had massed around Boston. That means that there were armies, troops from all over the place. The first question facing Congress was who should command this New England army? So who should be in charge of this army? The obvious answer was a New Englander. You can see right here, highlights, or this is bolded. So guess who is going to be the person? George Washington and the Continental Army. John Adams of Massachusetts had another idea. He proposed that Congress create a Continental Army made up of troops from all the colonies. That makes sense, right? To lead this army, Adams nominated a gentleman whose skill as an officer, whose great talents and universal character would unite, bring them together, the colonies better than any other person alive. And that man was George Washington of Virginia. The delegates agreed. They unanimously elected Washington to be commander-in-chief of the new Continental Army. The Battle of Bunker Hill. Meanwhile, militiamen near Boston made plans to fortify or to improve two hills that overlook the city. So they were going to try and make them stronger, right? Bunker Hill and Breed's Hill. On the night of June 16th, Israel Putnam led a few hundred men up Breed's Hill. In 4 hours of furious digging, they erected a crude fort on the top of the hill. The fort worried British General William Howe, who had just arrived from England with fresh troops. Howe ordered an immediate attack. Under a hot June sun, some 2,000 red-coated troops formed two long lines at the base of Breed's Hill. At Howe's order, they marched up the slope. Oh, you gotta know that's bad. You can't be going up if you're fighting. As the lines moved ever closer, Putnam ordered his men, "Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes." Only when the British were almost on top of them did the militiamen pull their triggers. The red lines broke and fell back in confusion. The British regrouped and attacked again. Once more, the Americans stopped their advance. On their third attack, the Redcoats finally took the hill, but only because the Americans had used up all their gunpowder and pulled back. This clash, which was misnamed the Battle of Bunker Hill, was short but very bloody. More than 1,000 British troops were killed or wounded, and nearly half that many Americans. British and Americans alike knew that this was no small skirmish on a village green. A war had begun. Here's a good picture of it. So they're going up that hill. This is how people used to fight. They had to stand in a line and just shoot at each other. Okay, so that was 6.2. The war begins.